Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week and get a £10 free bet the next week. Paddy Power, you beauty! Max £10 bonus per person per week. Excludes shop bets. Selected odds. Conditions and exclusions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Hi there, a very warm welcome along to the Racing Post Weekend Football Postcast. I'm Bruce Millington, and in the company of my Racing Post colleagues Mark Langdon and James Milton, as well as Amanda Nicolman from Paddy Power, we're going to look at the weekend that lies ahead, and it could be the most pivotal weekend of the season in terms of deciding the Premier League outcome as Man City visit Man United. There is loads of other good stuff as well. We'll look at all the 3 p.m. games, and what a hard set of games they are. There's only one team that's odds on, and they are arguably ridiculously short. There's a chance to win another £25 or €25 free bet, courtesy of Paddy Power. But we will start off with our 6 questions. The gang get 2 each and then get to answer the one they wish they'd been asked. Plenty of prizes from Paddy Power that Amanda will be reading out as we go through the relevant questions. We'll start with you, Mark Langdon. Your main Champions League takeout. The group stage is over. What did you make of what we saw in the last couple of days?
Well, I think Chelsea have made a massive brick. Well, they did try to win, and Willian missed a couple of good chances. They did deserve to win. The fact they haven't, they've given themselves the potential for a nightmare draw. There's only 3 teams, of course, they can get in that draw. The best is Besiktas. The other 2, Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain, are not what you'd want to be facing at the last 16 stage. Not only that, because of the quirks of who can play who in the draw, it's over a 40% chance of drawing Barcelona for Chelsea, which is not ideal. And so I think that was a massive result for them not winning on Tuesday night. Like I said, they did try. I mean, Conte knew the importance of the game. They did enough to win the game. The fact they haven't really does put them on the back foot, I think, in terms of the sort of last 16.
I've looked at this chart that's been knocking around on Twitter with the percentage chance of getting everyone. It's bloody complicated, isn't it? I mean, for what, normally when John Watson says, I'll leave that one to the mathematicians, I mean, you don't need to have an O level in maths, but that one is right complicated, isn't it?
It is, because as soon as one team comes out, that knocks a load of other potential sort of ties out as well. So,
will it be a simple draw with the old big balls there?
Well, it'll start off simple with the with the big balls, and then it's like, well, they can't play them, they can't.
When is it? Tomorrow?
No, it's on Monday.
Monday, cool.
So yeah, I think that was a real big blow. I mean, they could get Besiktas, but they've given themselves a lot to do. Is
there a danger though, Mark, that Paris Saint-Germain are massively overrated? I mean, the domestic stuff's not brilliant, is it? They're very flashy, but is there actually any substance to this?
I didn't understand them being. I mean, we've been speaking about this quite often. I think after every Champions League match day, I don't think that they deserve to be the favourites to win the Champions League. If they play Man City tomorrow, I'd be all over Man City to beat them. Bayern, were switched on and did a good job on them. Even against Real Madrid, who are not playing that well, and they are flaky. I mean, there was one stage on Tuesday where they were panicking about losing top spot, even though they could afford to lose by 3-0. So they wouldn't be for me at the prices. But you still wouldn't want, you wouldn't necessarily pick them out to play in the last 16.
Sure. Well, what are those prices, Amanda? Take us through the Champions League market now.
Yeah, we're looking at PSG at the top of the betting, priced up at 7-2. Man City 9-2. Real Madrid at 6-1. Bayern Munich and Barcelona both at 13-2. You have your English teams then, Liverpool, Spurs and Man United all at 16s. 18s for Juve. Chelsea as big as 20 at 35 Spar.
OK, James, sticking with the Champions League, is Cristiano Ronaldo, or CR7 as I know you like to call him, a good thing for the Golden Boot? Perhaps Amanda could give us some latest prices there, because he's odds-on fav now, isn't he, Amanda?
He is indeed. He's priced up at 4-6. Ronaldo. You've 7s then for Neymar and Cavani, 15-2 Harry Kane, 10s for Messi and 22s Bar.
I think you can probably get something nearer 10-11 Ronaldo elsewhere. But what would you say here?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be laying him really. I think he's. I think last season he only really burst into life in the knockout stages and was rattling in hat tricks against top quality.
Much to your chagrin, wasn't it, Mark? Was it much to your delight?
Much to my delight, yeah. And tipped him last year, run him again this year. Yeah,
I think he did. He did nothing in the group stages. I think he was about 25-1 for top goal scorer at the end of the group stages. But, so he's
is there a slight concern though that Real Madrid possibly aren't performing that well? I mean, he's going to have to get to the quarterfinals here, isn't he? At least to get it done, surely.
Yeah, you'd have thought so. I mean, you look at the others. I mean, Paris Saint-Germain seem to kind of share the goals around quite a lot. I think Real's kind of, talk of their demise, it might be a bit premature, and certainly, you look at them and Barcelona, who we talked about, maybe drawing Chelsea. I mean, I think they, they can put things right over the winter, and so I'd be surprised if Real, got knocked out.
And you think he'll win it again, yeah?
Yeah, he just loves it, doesn't he?
Amanda, I've got a question for you, and it's been bugging me for ages. Your lovely TV ad with the chap in the wheelchair, okay? When they all go up when they score, how do you film that? What ground is that filmed at? It bugs me every single time. Okay, so he celebrates, gets the bit in the Spandau Ballet song, and there's like 10,000 people in the background in the stands. Please don't say I've never seen the advert. I haven't got a clue what you're on about.
I know the ad really well, but I have absolutely no idea.
Do you ever study it?
I thought it was Millwall. It looks a bit like the Den to me. But
you wouldn't film an advert like that at Millwall, would you? I mean, it's taking a massive. But they're all wearing green. Do they do that thing like they used to with the? Was it Fulchester? What was that Sky thing with the?
Harchester.
Harchester, yeah, and that was at Leicester, and they turned the blue stuff purple. So perhaps they turned the blue into green there.
It sort of looks. It looks a bit Millwall-ish to me, but from the stands.
You were there last week.
I was
we
there
could have got you
last
to
week.
check it out. Tally it up.
It's a good neutral footballing colour green, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. We got Yeovil and Plymouth.
Yeah. No one's going to get too upset.
Can you have a look into that, please, Amanda? Speak to the marketing people.
I will. And next time I'm on, I'll have the answer for you.
Good.
I think the Rangers fans might be a bit objective.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't get upset about this kind of things, do they?
Right, Mark. Juve or Napoli for Serie A? They're both 5-4 with Paddy Power.
Yeah, or Inter.
I
would say I still say Napoli. It was obviously a blow on Friday night. Juve winning that game
on merit.
It was deserved in as much as they defended very well. They got the early goal, which enabled them to play very defensive. Napoli under Sarri have only got Plan A. Plan B is to make sure Plan A works, and it didn't. They just couldn't find a way through that packed defence. But I think Napoli have done enough over the first sort of part of the campaign to still suggest that they'll beat all of the whipping boys, if you like. So it's in them kind of games, actually, Juve have not been as secure. They're a big game team. They turn it on for it sort of really does sort of play to their strengths. So I would say Napoli have got a massive game on Saturday. Juve v Inter on Saturday. Inter, of course, top at the moment. I'm expecting Napoli to maybe go and buy a player in January because their squad's a little bit thin. They still play the best football. They're putting up the best numbers. Just I think the circumstances of the early goal rocked them on Friday night.
Okay, you're keeping the faith. What's the latest from Paddy Power on Serie A, Amanda?
Yeah, just having a look at here, we've Juve and Napoli both priced up at 5-4. Inter Milan 13-2, even though they are currently at the top, and Roma are 11s. It's 50s bar.
I think you could make a value case for Inter. No European football. I'd rather back them than Juve. They're playing very well at the moment, scoring a lot of goals.
Okay, James, your question is top 4 in the Premier League, which is changing every week. Let me give you the latest prices from Paddy Power to finish in the top 4. 1-12 Man U, 2-9 Chelsea, 8-15 Liverpool, 7-5 Arsenal and 7-4 Tottenham. Who do you think the 2 to miss out will be?
It's absolutely brutal because kind of every couple of weeks there seems to be a new club who's in crisis, in inverted commas, and obviously Tottenham going through a bit of a rough spell. I'm still not entirely convinced by Liverpool long term. So possibly Liverpool and Tottenham. I'm actually feeling unusually bullish about Arsenal.
Does that scare you?
Yeah. That you're usually kind of riding for a fall when you start. But since that horrific defeat at Anfield in August, they've actually been pretty consistent. I mean, they lost at Watford, but that was a bit unlucky. Outclassed by Man City, but that's going to happen.
The Man U game was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
it was a brilliant match.
And Arsenal were excellent, really.
They were full value for their 3-1 defeat.
Well, it was just kind of stupid individual errors and some inspired goalkeeping from De Gea. So I think Arsenal are playing well, and the Europa League's helped them out.
And this is their time of year, isn't it? Oh, no, we've got a Christmas wobble coming.
And then
February they kick on, and then they win the cup.
I think that's the way. And hopefully, the kind of final day sneaking 4th place. So 7-5. I think might be a decent back.
Okay, Mark, anything you want to take on what the others had? Obviously, you don't know which ground it was.
Yeah, I'd take the Cristiano Ronaldo one. I mean, I just always like him in this market. He's so selfish. I mean, it's made him the player that he has become. That sort of determination and single-mindedness to just be the best at everything has enabled him to become the best, or certainly one of the best. Messi has been, I mean, I'm expecting him to play now, but he's rested for the last 2 Champions League games, and Real Madrid have already qualified in second spot. Got a big game on Saturday against Sevilla, and Cristiano Ronaldo is still out there against Borussia Dortmund and scoring. So I agree with James that I think come February time, Real Madrid will be in a better place. Obviously, they'll need a slight bit of luck in the draw, but they had a real tough one last year. I mean, it was by no means an easy path to the final, having to play Bayern Munich, Napoli and Atletico Madrid, and that they did it in spectacular fashion. So, I would say that Cristiano Ronaldo should be a good thing in the Golden Boot.
And James, you got a Champions League outright thought for us?
Just agree with you on Paris Saint-Germain, really. I mean, I think, it's kind of 7-2 across the board, I think they are, and that does look short. Obviously, there'll be liabilities for bookmakers because people were backing them before the signing of Neymar, and now they've obviously won their group. But it looks really short in what is a very deep competition, I think. This you've obviously got the 5 Premier League teams who are all pretty solid, and then Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, kind of unusually big prices. So I wouldn't be if you're on pre-Neymar at a big price on Paris Saint-Germain, you're in good shape. But I've certainly no inclination to get involved now.
I'd lay off.
I think there's also the possibility of a kind of soap opera bust-ups behind the scene and things. So,
no question.
They've already had absolutely. Some, yeah.
Okay, we'll get stuck into the weekend in a mo, but first of all, competition time. Each week we give you the chance to win a £25 or €25 bet courtesy of Paddy Power. All you've got to do is answer this question correctly and tweet it using the hashtag Postcast. So the question is, who topped Chelsea's group in the Champions League? If you know the answer to that, go on Twitter, just send us the name of the team, add the hashtag Postcast, and you could win. We will tell you next week whether you were successful. We can tell Peter from Warwickshire that he was successful last week. So assuming there was only one Peter from Warwickshire who entered, you've won. Well done. Back with the weekend in a mo.
Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week and get a £10 free bet the next week. Paddy Power, you beauty! Max £10 bonus per person per week. Excludes shop bets. Selected odds. Conditions and exclusions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Okay, an absolutely brilliant week in the Premier League. Kicks off at 12:30 on Saturday at the London Stadium. It's West Ham versus Chelsea. The match odds from Paddy Power, 6-1 West Ham, 100-30 the draw, 4-9 Chelsea. Mark Langdon, are Chelsea a good thing?
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't go steaming into the 4-9. I wouldn't have said though. I mean, if you have a look at West Ham, I mean, to play so badly against Everton 4-0 and then put up, really spirited performance, albeit in defeat at Manchester City 2-1.
I thought they were good.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, so I'm really struggling to know, what the sort of true West Ham is. Is it somewhere in between that, or did they just have, one of them games where Man City maybe weren't at it and it made them look better? So I was sort of steering clear of a lot of the sort of match-related markets. I thought Eden Hazard to score the first goal around about the 4-1 mark was fair enough, really. Chelsea are playing this 3-5-2 system now, which means he's almost alongside Morata. He's got 5 in his last 6 matches as well. He takes the pens. He's on a lot of the set pieces with free kicks as well. So he's playing his best football of the season, no doubt about that. And I think he's maybe if West Ham are struggling, it could be against a trickier player dribbling rather than a Morata type. For the West Ham centre backs, maybe preferring to play against a kind of physical striker. Somebody with the extra quality of Hazard might just be able to sort of tear them apart.
How does that formation change in? So you've still got the wing backs, you've still got 3 at the back, you've still got a central striker, but whereas you would have, say, Hazard and Pedro off him and then 2 grafting, you've now got 3.
They've got 3 grafting and Hazard much closer to Morata because Hazard and Pedro used to play quite wide and then join in. Now Hazard is playing virtually sort of centre forward, and it just means that what it does mean is that Bakayoko or Drinkwater, whoever is that third one, they are actually. You saw Drinkwater missed a few chances against Liverpool, so that would be the other one to check out. Just if it's Bakayoko or Drinkwater there, because Fabregas and Kante sit. And it's up to the other one to try and make the third man run.
Is Bakayoko improving? You'll know full well that I was very disdainful of his early efforts.
I mean, he hasn't. He hasn't really. I mean, he hasn't been. He's been rotating him and Drinkwater sort of on a regular basis now. So it's probably not going to help him get into a rhythm because he missed the start of the season through injury. I just wouldn't rule him out of being a good player just yet. So that's for sure.
He's still. Why they've let us have Ruben Loftus-Cheek?
It took Modric sort of 6 months.
Of course it did. Takes a lot of players, doesn't it? Perez had a very quiet first year, didn't he, James?
Yeah,
a lot of players who've come on to become legends this league. It takes them a while. What do you like in West Ham, Chelsea, James?
Yeah, as Mark said, it's a tricky one given the context. And West Ham still kind of early days under Moyes and did better than expected at City, but still lost, and that's a 9th defeat in 15. Their only wins have come against Huddersfield and Swansea, and this is obviously a very different test. I thought possibly draw half-time, Chelsea full-time. West Ham are just purely focusing on staying solid in these kind of games, I think. And they took a shock lead at Man City just before half-time. But like Mark, I had Hazard down 7-5 anytime goal scorer. 10 goals in his last 13 for club and country, and as Mark says, he's such a tricky, dangerous player, and West Ham fairly depleted defence. I think he could be too sharp for them.
The 5:30 game is Newcastle versus Leicester. It's 6-. Oh no, it's not. It's 8-5 Newcastle, 9-5 Leicester, and 9-4 the draw. Again, the feature of Saturday's matches is just how close they are. The only two teams that are odds on are Tottenham and Chelsea. This game, first of all, quick, they played for both clubs, Newcastle, Leicester.
Newcastle, Leicester.
Paul Kitson, before your time.
Yeah, that would have been.
Who else? Who else?
Doesn't feel like it's a vintage.
No, it might not be a very rich team. It's not. We're doing Arsenal Southampton later. That and just say any player. Can't you? Okay, then James, you go first. Newcastle v Leicester. What's the outcome going to be?
I feel like I'm kind of following Leicester over a cliff in these kind of fixtures. I'm just looking. They've drawn at Stoke, Bournemouth, Huddersfield, and West Ham. I think I'll probably back them in every single one of those games. And this is a similar type, so I'm slightly wary about them. I don't rate Newcastle really. I actually had a little bet on them to go down at 11-2 earlier in the week. But yeah, as I said, don't really trust Leicester's defence. I'm looking at it, kind of Leicester win and both teams to score at 4-1. A small play there. Leicester have only kept one clean sheet away from home. Had a couple of good home wins, obviously, but I mean Spurs missed some fantastic chances in that defeat. And Newcastle scored against Manchester United and Chelsea. Scored first, in fact, and came from 2-0 down to draw at West Brom. So they're starting to find the net a little bit more regularly. But I still think Leicester are set up really nicely to play away from home. So Leicester win and both teams to score. I'm hoping for an exciting one in this.
Leo?
I'm just going to go Leicester, draw no bet. Probably the most confident selection of all of the Saturday Premier League ones. Just don't see Leicester losing this game. I mean, James has alluded to the draws, particularly away from home, that have maybe held them back in terms of pushing up the Premier League table. But I mean, you have a look at the teams they've lost to this season. These are the only sides that have beaten Leicester: Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Manchester City. Don't see Newcastle have won one of their last 10 matches. That a drab 1-0 against Crystal Palace, from a set piece late on. Don't see them having the kind of guile really to be able to create that much against Leicester. And Leicester have only lost one of their last 10. Mahrez and Vardy are, if not sort of back to the very best of their title winning, they're not far off it, them two.
Mahrez is playing like a shop window merchant.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he gets a lot of stick, Mahrez, but actually, I mean, of all the players, Sanchez wanted to go and it took him a while to get back into the Arsenal team. Coutinho's had a couple of little breaks out of the Liverpool side. I mean, Mahrez has kept playing despite not wanting to be at Leicester anymore. And maybe that kind of attitude will actually endear him to somebody looking to sign him. He is, like you say, I think, playing for a move, but that's no bad thing if you want to back Leicester. They're pretty strong defensively. Puel's come in and done a solid job so far. They look pretty strong in midfield with Ndidi and Ibor in there. Don't see them losing the game. I do wonder whether Puel actually sends his team out to win enough matches, and that was the accusation at Southampton. But I definitely think they're good enough to avoid defeat. If there is to be a winner, I think it'll be them.
OK, as you know, we whiz through the non-televised 3 p.m. Saturday games now. Thanks for all your feedback on that. We know a lot of people have said that they really enjoy this feature, so it's a real quick-fire tip fest here. Amanda, you're going to read out the prices, you're going to give us your tip, and then the boys will have their say. So we'll start with Burnley versus Watford. How do you bet, Amanda?
Well, just looking at the prices here, Burnley are priced up at 6-4. The draw is 11-5, and we have 2-1 about Watford. I'm going to go with a low-scoring Burnley win here. It's currently priced up at 6-4.
6-4 for Burnley for Amanda. Who for you, James?
I've got 1-1 correct score in this one.
1-1 correct score. Mark?
Yeah, I've got a draw. I think Brady's injury could be a blow for
he's
Burnley.
a big player for them.
He's very important for them.
Right, 3 o'clock, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Amanda.
Evens for Palace, Bournemouth 11-4, and the draw priced up at 12-5. Again, it's going to be a low-scoring affair for me here, and I'm going to back the draw priced up at 12-5 as mentioned.
Mark Langdon?
I'm going to go Crystal Palace. I think they are definitely improving. Not sure about Bournemouth at all this season. Very inconsistent.
James?
I like both teams to score in this one.
OK, why?
Just
think they will?
think both teams will find the net.
Excellent.
No,
Okay,
yeah,
good
both
science.
playing with a bit more confidence. Yeah.
Fine. Huddersfield, Brighton. This is a tricky one, isn't it, Amanda?
Yeah, it is. I'll come back to it. It's actually one of my naps as well, but I'm going to go with Brighton and under 2.5 goals at 4-1.
And it's 13-8 Huddersfield, 15-8 the draw, 2-1 Brighton. James, what's going to happen?
Yeah, Brighton draw no bet, but not with a great degree of confidence.
Mark?
Yeah, I had the draw as well. It is quite short, but understandably so. I think these two teams are just at a rocky patch, haven't they?
OK, Swansea 13-8, West Brom 15-8, 2-1 the draw. Mark Langdon, what's going to happen here?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Swansea. I just can't have West Brom being almost favourites away from home against anybody, even a very bad Swansea team. Last chance saloon for Clement as well, I think.
James?
Over 2.5 goals. Neither of them are defending very well.
They changed the rules. Is it 5 hours now, this match? Bloody hell. Didn't expect that. Amanda, what are you going for here?
I'll go with a West Brom win here. Good optimism now under Park. We'll see if that keeps it up. And the 15-8, of course, as you mentioned, Bruce.
OK, right. Tottenham are 1-4 against Stoke. It's 5-1 the draw and 11-1 the Potters. Amanda, what's going to happen here?
Spurs to win 2-0 for me, priced up at 11-10.
11-10 Spurs to win 2-0. James, what do you like at Wembley?
Yeah, possibly 2-0 Tottenham.
OK,
I think
and Mark?
Stoke are good opponents.
I was going to go for Stoke +2 on the handicap. I mean, Tottenham, even when they've won, apart from Liverpool in the Premier League, it's been pretty hard work. 1-0 against Crystal Palace and Bournemouth. You know, couldn't beat Burnley, couldn't beat Swansea, so couldn't back that 1-4.
Let's get the naps.
This will not be beaten.
Amanda, away you go.
Well, we mentioned, of course, the 3 o'clock match, Huddersfield against Brighton. 4 defeats in a row now for Huddersfield, which you may have mentioned. They haven't had that fire under them since that 4-0 hammering, as you mentioned, to Bournemouth. They have conceded 26 goals this season, half of those in their last 4 matches alone. But Brighton, of course, as we know, they have been picking up the points when they can, but they are haven't been firing in the goals either. They've only scored 1 in the last 3, and that was a pen. So I am going to go with a Brighton win, but I'll go with under 2.5 goals, which is at 4-1.
Brighton to win 1-0 or 2-0 effectively. James, what's your nap?
I'm going for Derby to win at Barnsley in the Championship. Barnsley are kind of just about keeping themselves out of trouble, beating their fellow strugglers, but they lost 7 out of 7 against teams in the top 8, and Derby are now up there into the playoff places. I think they should stay there. Won 3 of their last 4 away games. Most recently was 3-0 at Middlesbrough. And yeah, I think they're just ticking along nicely and should be too strong there.
OK, Watford are my cliff team of the moment. I'm going to follow them at 2-1 at Burnley. And Mark?
Atletico Madrid away to Real Betis. Atletico, before the 1-1 against Chelsea, which was a good result, albeit it knocked them out of the Champions League, they'd actually won 4 games in a row. They had 40 shots on target in those 4 matches. They seem to have sort of found their best form, I think it's fair to say. Betis knocked out of the Copa del Rey 5-3 by Cadiz at home, which was a disastrous result against a local lower league, lower league rival. They've only taken 2 points from their last 5 La Liga matches. They've conceded 15 goals in their last 5 home games. They can't keep clean sheets if Atletico get their noses in front.
What price are they?
They're a shade of odds on. You can around about the sort of 4 to 5, 8 to 11 mark.
Lovely. Let's look at Super Sunday next.
Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week and get a £10 free bet the next week. Paddy Power, you beauty! Max £10 bonus per person per week. Excludes shop bets. Selected odds. Conditions and exclusions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Hi there, Bruce Millington, James Milton, Mark Langdon and Paddy Power's Amanda Nicoleman looking ahead to what is a really, really fantastic Sunday of televised action. We've got 3 live Premier League games. And best of all, my missus is going off to the coast with her mates, leaving me an absolute free run on Sunday. So I should be watching every minute of every game, punting like a lunatic. I need some wisdom from you guys. 12 o'clock, we start with Southampton versus Arsenal. What's the latest from Paddy Power there, Amanda?
Yeah, Southampton are priced up at 3 to 1. Arsenal are odds on at 10 to 11, and the draw is at 13 to 5.
Okay, a lovely little hors d'oeuvre here, a kind of prawn cocktail, if you will. James, who's going to win here?
Yeah, I think Arsenal are probably a good bet in this one. I think, they obviously lost to Manchester United in that remarkable game, but I think they played very well, and it was just one of those days for them, really. And their previous away game, they went to Burnley, which is a far more awkward assignment, I think, these days than going to Southampton, and nicked a 1-0 wins, and they've been in excellent nick against teams below them.
They're just better at what they do than Southampton.
Yeah, it's almost a kind of like for like. But yeah, Arsenal showing real cutting edge now with kind of Ozil, Sanchez, and Lacazette when they're unleashed. And Southampton lost 5 out of 6 against teams above them. They're just a middling team, really.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
So just Arsenal all the way.
Yeah,
win, yeah.
Confident about
Amanda,
Arsenal,
what do you think will happen here?
Yeah, well, just looking at how they performed last week against Manchester United, they're just incredible. We saw Wenger as well trying out some Fergie tactics. Of course, Lacazette limps off halfway through the Huddersfield match and then is in the starting lineup on Saturday. It was a bit sneaky, but they are just incredible to watch. Arsenal, one of the matches of the season so far last week. I don't think we're going to see the likes of it again, though, this week. Sanchez has scored in 3 of his last 4 matches. He could feature for a goal. But, of course, if they had been playing against anyone except De Gea last week, they certainly would have won that match, and I think that's going to be the case here again. They were a bit sloppy defensively, Arsenal, so I am going to back Arsenal and both to score, which is at 13 to 5.
Okay, let's do they play for both. Let's try and get 5.
Oh, Theo, the Ox.
Callum Chambers.
I forgot about him. Yeah.
Steve Williams.
Vaguely.
Did Steve Williams play for both way back in the 70s?
That's a bit before my times.
Sorry, early 80s. Okay, and there must be another one somewhere. I will have a think while you say what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not as confident about Arsenal, actually, Bruce. I mean, they've only won twice away from home in the Premier League this season. Once was against a dishevelled Everton team, who were awful on the day, and the other was that controversial penalty at Burnley, which I don't think was a vintage Arsenal performance. I think they're going to come up against very similar defensive dour side in Southampton, and it's whether they can, have got the space to break them down. And for all that they were excellent in parts against Manchester United, the goals they conceded were an absolute joke, really. I mean, defensive errors, that cost them. So I haven't got much faith in Southampton, but I haven't got much faith in Arsenal either at odds on. So I was going to suggest Southampton on a draw double chance, but I mean, I've taken on board that all the quality Arsenal have got in the front 3 areas. Just not sure I could trust them myself.
There should be a they played for both clubs app, shouldn't there? I'm absolutely gutted. We're stuck at 4.
Neil Heaney in the early 90s. He was a kind of Arsenal youth who then went on to play quite a lot for Southampton, I think.
Okay, we got 5. That's terrible. I thought there'd be absolutely loads there. Right then, 2:15.
Stuart Taylor, the goalkeeper.
Stuart Taylor, yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
But I don't know if he played for any. It feels like he did anyway.
It's nosed up my massive, great intro to the Merseyside derby, don't we? 2:15, Liverpool v Everton. This is a fixture, right? There's 2 things about it. One, Kevin Pullein always says it's the highest bookings points fixture in Premier League history. And I also think it's the biggest disappointment. They start off playing far too quickly. the football is absolutely rubbish. Someone gets sent off. So I'll watch it, but it's always a bit of a disappointment, this game. Maybe it'll be good this time. We'll see. What's the latest betting, Amanda?
Liverpool are priced up at 1-4. Everton are 10s, and the draw 9-2.
1-4, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Did I hear
Yeah,
that
that has to be the shortest. Yeah, that has to be the shortest now we've seen in the derby.
I thought form went out the window, innit? It can't be 1-4, can they, Mark?
Well, I think, you know, if you had to look at, if it wasn't a derby, I think you'd say that it probably was. I mean, Everton, despite, you know, the recent sort of upturn, if you like, against West Ham and Huddersfield at home, have been awful for most part of this season, very cumbersome defensively as well, and you do worry about their sort of, and they'll defend deep to try to not allow that space that Liverpool seem to be able to create. I mean, you know, Tottenham are 1-4 against Stoke, aren't they, or whatever? I mean, it's a similar level, I think, of what we're saying from this season. As what you would say is there is potential maybe for Everton to improve, but we haven't seen it yet. I mean, I thought for a long time that Liverpool are the second best team in the Premier League. I still think that they are on their day. It's just how many days they have. They're having a lot of those days at the moment. I mean, since that 4-1 defeat at Tottenham, they've played 9 matches. In 8 of those, they've scored at least 3 goals, which is quite remarkable.
And I suppose if there's a defence made for them, it's this Everton.
Yeah, I mean, Everton haven't
got
much up front, and Liverpool haven't been, I don't think, as bad defensively as what people have. You know, every time they make a mistake, it probably is like Arsenal. Every time they make a mistake, it's kind of highlighted more because we've got this preconceived idea that, you know, they're terrible defensively. They've scored exactly 3 times in 5 of those 9 fixtures. So I was looking at splitting the stakes on 3-0 and 3-1. The front 4 of Mane, Salah, Firmino and Coutinho, just absolutely outstanding at the moment.
3-0 and 3-1 for Lango. What do you reckon, James?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably no secret about how Everton and Sam Allardyce are going to approach this. You know,
that's if he recovers from his medical appointment that stopped him from going to Cyprus.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate one. Yeah, I mean, he's sent the reserves for the Europa League game, so you know, no excuses on that front. But as Mark says, I think Liverpool will have far too much for this Everton side. You know, they've kept clean sheets. Everton kept clean sheets against West Ham and Huddersfield, but this is a very different test. And Mark's quite right, Liverpool's defensive record at home and in the Premier League, they've conceded twice in 7 games. That includes clean sheets against Manchester United and Arsenal. So I actually think, Liverpool win 2-0 in this one. And then you've got the kind of the disappointing one on your side. If Everton do defend well and defend deep and Liverpool nick it 1-0 or whatever, then that's on your side as well. You just don't really see Everton A, having the players to trouble Liverpool, and B, having the intent perhaps.
And that goal against Chelsea was a fluke, wasn't it, from Willian? So that defended quite well then as well. So I don't think they're quite as bad at the back as
I think you're right. It's kind of the individual errors which
Sam will improve them. He'll get a better defensive shape.
You almost look at that 1-4 and think, well, that's probably against kind of Koeman's Everton or Unsworth's Everton.
Yeah, it just seems ridiculous.
Liverpool have got a great record in this derby as well. Allardyce is famed for his kind of getting into players' heads, and he'll need to do that because, I mean, head-to-head records don't really mean that much to me. I think in a derby game, though, there are times when one team just feels so inferior when this game comes around.
Will the hippie play?
I would have thought so, because Schneidlin was one of the few first-teamers that went to Cyprus.
Honestly, if Tom Davis starts lump on for first booking and any time yellow, this guy is an absolute walking caution. He's
going to be tearing around as well, isn't he? He's going to be buzzing for it.
Does he wear like children's socks?
He likes to roll
sort
down,
of unique way of having the socks kind of halfway up his shin, hasn't he? Very interesting. Liverpool Everton, Amanda, what's your tip for us?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Liverpool and both to score for me. It's priced up at 6-4. I think, Liverpool are just too good, really. And the 1-4 now could be a bit too short, which is why I'm looking at something with a bit of value. But obviously, it's something that we're going to see again after Christmas in that FA Cup clash as well. So we'll see how Big Sam gets on. His 100% record, though, it's about to be broken this weekend, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so. Right, let's get on to the main event of the whole weekend and arguably the season. 4:30 Sunday, Man United versus Man City. Absolutely mouth-watering clash this. This really could be superb. I'm looking forward to it, no end. And how do Paddy Power bet on the match outcome, Amanda?
Well, we have Man United priced up at 12-5. Man City are 11-10, and the draw 13-5.
Lango, you go first.
City are drifting, actually. They were odds on earlier on in the week. I still think that they're probably a lay at this price. I mean, anyone that sort of listens to this podcast regularly will know that I do think City are the best team and by some distance. But I think everything has their price, and this feels a little bit short to me at Old Trafford. We don't know David Silva's status. I know Jose Mourinho's expecting him to play, but he would be a big loss if he's not around.
It's a brilliant finish the other day, wasn't it? It has been underrated. The gymnastic ability to guide that into net was superb.
The goal. I mean, first of all, the pass from De Bruyne. Rice probably feels like he's got Silva where he needs him to be. He can't score from there, and he did, but I do think we've seen signs just of them going to sleep, maybe a bit of complacency defensively, as coincided with John Stones' injury.
Will it be Company and Otamendi?
Yeah.
It's got to be. That Mangler's... I know sometimes you get these players and they get a reputation for being crap, but he just is.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I think the Company's got some question marks about him these days. I mean, he should have been sent off at Leicester when they won 2-0. I mean, Stones and Otamendi, they looked so solid when it was those two.
This is what I've said in my column today. Do you remember when he was at Chelsea sometimes, Jose, and he'd actually normally go to a big six and park the bus, but occasionally he would actually send them out a bit more offensively.
I mean, I'm not sure. I feel like he'll be wary of what City can do at the other end. But United are unbeaten in 40 at Old Trafford, which and the last team to beat them was Manchester City. But at the prices, there's 8 points between them. I think City, there's no real need for them to go and push, is there? If it's 1-1 with 15 minutes to go, it's not going to be City, relentlessly going for maximum points. They'd be quite happy with a draw. I know they won't necessarily play for one, but I don't see them chasing the victory. And I have my doubts as to whether Pogba's suspension is a problem, but it enables him to be probably better defensively because he can put a Herrera inside alongside Matic and just shut it up a little bit because Pogba does like to go wandering. I think.
What's the bet then, Mark?
Oh yeah, I'm just going to go for United or draw, double chance.
Okay, James, what are you going to go for?
Yeah, I mean, price is the key to this, isn't it? And United 11-8 draw no bet at home just looks the one for me. I mean, City have been terrific, obviously, but the last few weeks they have been relying on these late winners. Teams have been able to frustrate them a bit more. And as Mark says, United's home record under Mourinho is superb. And just thinking back to the end of last season when Chelsea were marching to the title, and United really did a job on them when they came 1-2-0 there. And yeah, I just think it's one of those that I know Kevin Pauline talks about these big games, and I'm apologise to him for ineptly paraphrasing his fine work, but I think he says home advantage can be a bit underrated in these games because everyone looks at them.
Mums like me say that it goes out the window. Yeah.
well, I don't know about that,
but the other team appears to look a much more attractive.
And bookmakers know that they are going to lay the away team because they're a high-profile team as well.
Basically, this is the only chance I think to back Man City odds against.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose maybe Liverpool, depending on sort of what sort of nick they're in, if you look at the prices. But this is arguably the only time you're going to get to back Manchester City odds against.
And neither of you wants to. Okay, well, Amanda, for a lot of people who've backed Man City, this is a real sweat up for them if you've backed them for the title because if they win, then they're home and host. But if they lose, it just suddenly closes up again. But if anyone's backed City for the title with Paddy Power, they're laughing, aren't they?
Yeah, big news this morning. Of course, it was just announced at 10 a.m. today that we've paid out on Man City to win the league now. So it was massive news this morning. It's absolute madness. There were really 8 points clear at the minute, and just on the eve of the derby, it's just incredible.
Well, excellent stuff. So reassurance there if you've backed Man City for the title with Paddy Power, you've already won. Now, you're a Man U fan, Amanda. It's the only thing we don't like about you. What's going to happen in this game?
Well, just looking at how both sides have been playing, obviously I thought United were great going forward against Arsenal last weekend, of course, just gliding in and out of the box, and they just broke them down and just found them out. But Man City, of course, looking for their 15th win of the season now. Instead of panicking, though, Man City just seem to be completely calm and composed. Even when they go behind, they're going to come back and equalise and win. So they do actually kind of remind you of United when Fergie was in charge. Of course, you wait for them to lose the lead and then back them in play. But they've conceded in 5 of their last 6 now in the Premier League. So we know that they can be caught in the hop. But I think even if United do go ahead, City could always come back and absolutely punish us. So I'm not going to go with a Man United win or a City win. I'll go with a draw, and I'll back them both to score, and that's priced up at 100-30.
A draw and both to score. Right then, we've got a bonus in midweek. We've got another full round of Premier League matches. On Tuesday, it's Burnley-Stoke, Crystal Palace-Watford and Huddersfield-Chelsea. On Wednesday, Newcastle v Everton, Southampton v Leicester, Swansea v Manchester City, Liverpool v West Brom, Man United v Bournemouth, Tottenham v Brighton, West Ham v Arsenal. If we were only having one bet on that full programme, chaps, what would it be, James Milton?
I would go for Burnley to beat Stoke.
And who would you go for?
I'd go for a load of draws, really. I think you could sort of perm up the draws, but maybe I'm going to go for Bournemouth to get a draw at Old Trafford. I think playing on that Sunday could take quite a lot out of United.
OK, and will you be able to watch the orgy of football on Sunday afternoon, James? What's the weekend plans?
Yeah, I think I'm in the office. So,
there you go.
Down tools.
Oh, right. Appraisal time coming up. Noted. Mark, what about you? What are you doing this weekend? Are you doing a match in focus?
Yes, yeah, doing a match in focus. Milton Keynes versus Shrewsbury. Of course, surprise promotion candidates in League One. So looking forward to getting a handle on them, and I'll be sat next to James in the office on Sunday.
Excellent, that'll be good. Amanda, what's the weekend hold for you?
Not much in here now, actually, Saturday and Sunday, but I have a wedding on Monday.
Really?
Who gets married on a Monday?
That's very unusual, isn't it? Normally Irish weddings are kind of Friday, Saturday affairs, aren't they?
Yeah, certainly. So, wedding on Monday in Kilkenny, so it should be interesting.
Oh, a Monday night hangover.
Actually,
that's always a difficult start to the week, because also you're bound to have Christmas parties and everything, aren't you? When's the big Paddy Power Christmas bash?
That's tonight.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that what they've paid out now?
Should be an interesting
Yeah. Does that usually generate a fair amount of goss?
Goss? No, certainly not from my end. Anyway, I'm usually the quiet one in the corner.
Good for you.
But no, it should be.
Is there
be
a
good
theme
weekend
to
ahead.
it? Do you all have to dress up or something, or is it just basic drinking until last man standing?
Oh, just drinking, endless, bottomless prosecco, I'd say.
Lovely stuff. That sounds good.
But I think Frankie's wedding now on Monday, so it won't be short of talkers anyway.
Jolly good. Excellent. Okay, well, have a lovely weekend, folks. Thank you very much for your expertise. We are back next Thursday with another Racing Post Weekend Football Postcast. Do join us for that.
Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week and get a £10 free bet the next week. Paddy Power, you beauty! Max £10 bonus per person per week. Excludes shop bets. Selected odds. Conditions and exclusions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.